Greetings, AELC members. My name is Rob Webb, and I'm giving the June and July What is Going On in the Sky, just made that up, for this meeting. And I'm sorry I could not be there. However, my wife is pregnant, and we have lots of things to get ready for tonight. So I'm sorry to do this over video, but hopefully this is pretty cool anyway for you, and I hope you get something out of it. And I'm going to forward all questions to David. So if you have any questions at all, ask him. He knows everything. After all, he he runs a really cool planetarium. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about for June and July. First, let's talk June. We've got some planets going on. First of all, if you look at the screen, you've got Venus off in the west. Off in the west here. Okay, that's pretty much every night. And what's going to go on too is technically Mercury can kind of be seen. Oop, that's July. Let me bring that back to June. So in June, in the beginning of June, you'll see Mercury and Venus over there as the planets that you can see around sunset. And what you'll see is that as the days and nights go by, you'll see that Mercury will sort of switch places with Venus and eventually fade away from sight by the end of the month of June. Okay, but anyway, also going on in June, okay, so you've got Venus and Mercury over in the west. Also in June, you've got over toward the south or southeast, you've got Saturn. So in the night, Saturn's going to be up high in the sky. So around the end of dusk, you'll see Saturn will be high in the sky, and throughout the night it'll move toward the west and then set in the west. Now, a cool part about Saturn for observing in June and July is that if you look at it, if you zoom in, it's going to be pretty well at an angle to us, which is nice. You can see those ears that Galileo thought that he had seen. Anyway, so yeah, that's really it for planets in June. Then if you move on to July, in July, as far as planets go, we have, let's talk about sunset first. In July, we've got basically Venus off in the west. So go out after sunset, let it get a little bit darker, and you'll see Venus over here in the west. And then again, you will see Saturn. Now, Saturn's a little bit further over than it was before in June, but it's still up there, and it'll set pretty much before midnight or 1 o'clock. So if you get out before midnight or 1 o'clock, you should see Saturn out there. And I'm going to save the rest of July for later. There's some neat stuff going on in the morning. But let's go back to June once again, and let's follow the moon, okay? So let's go back, rewind to, let's go June 8th. So June 8th is a pretty good night because it is the night of the new moon. There's no light, so basically you're looking at no extra light. That means over the next couple of nights, if you look to the west, you will get a couple good nights of looking at a crescent moon getting bigger and bigger every night. So if you look here on the 10th, it's a nice thin crescent. Next night it's a little bit thicker. Next night a little bit thicker and higher. Next night thicker and higher, thicker and higher, thicker and higher. Until you reach the first quarter moon. But anyway, on the 18th, right there, the moon's going to be close to Saturn. Okay, that means if you are looking for Saturn and you don't know what you're looking for, use the moon as your guidepost. Okay, on the 18th, the moon will be down and to the right of Saturn, and on the 19th, the moon will be down and to the left. Also going on the 18th. Let's go back one day. On the 18th of June, if you look to the west, you'll see Mercury and Venus are pretty close together. That's pretty neat. It's a conjunction. That doesn't happen all too often, but it's there. Okay, so that'd be neat to pick up with your binoculars. Okay. Now, if we keep following the moon from day to day, it'll get thicker and thicker and thicker and be more and more toward the east around sunset or in the dusk. Okay. And nothing really happens until the 23rd of June, which is the full moon. Okay, that's when it'll rise in the east around sunset. It'll be out all night, and then it'll set in the morning. So let's move on quickly to July, and let's go to July 6th. Okay, oops. July 6th is when the next cool thing happens, and that's going to be in the morning. Okay, now this is where I'm going to start talking about the neat morning dance that's going on in July. All right? So first of all, in the morning on July 6th, if we zoom in, you can see the moon, a very, very thin crescent moon, and you'll see Mars up and to the left. And then Jupiter will be down and to the left as well, but a little bit further away. So the moon acts as a good guidepost for the cool dance that's going on there. Now what will happen is the next day, the moon won't be there anymore. It's going back towards new moon, which is on the 8th. But what you notice is if I look to the east in the morning, I'm going to go through the whole month what it looks like. Day after day, Jupiter gets higher and higher and higher in the sky until the big event, which is July 23rd, Mars and Jupiter are really close together, less than a degree. That's a pinky held at arm's length, the width of that pinky. So that's a really cool thing to see. It would be really neat to get that on your camera, look at it through your telescope, try to get them all in one field of view, which would be really cool. And so by July 23rd that happens, and then Jupiter overtakes Mars and keeps getting higher and higher. And also what you'll start seeing is Mercury toward the end of the month starts to be visible as well. I find it's not so much fun to find because it's dim and you need binoculars and it's awfully close to the sun, but some people are good at finding it. But anyway, so that's what's going on in July. Let's see, one more thing in July, or a couple more things in July. If you go July 10th, near the new moon, but it's a little bit past, July 10th, around sunset, you'll see a very thin crescent moon, and Venus will be up and to the right, not too far away from it. And then, let's see, if we scroll out and we take a look, we see the moon each night at the same time. It will get closer and closer to Saturn until July 16th. Let me get this a little bit darker. Just past the first quarter, the moon will be very close to Saturn in the sky. So if you're trying to find Saturn again, use the moon as a guidepost. And then on the 20th, just 4 days later, the moon will be full. And yeah, and then the only thing that's happening after that is the 23rd, which is when Mars, Jupiter, and Mercury, like I said again, are going to be in the east doing their little dance over here. So anyway, that's what's going on in June and July. I wish you very clear, dark skies for the next 2 months, and I hope to see you at the next meeting. Thank you very much.